could find a spot, pitch a tent, and get set
Could you
up.
grow
And
me
that's
some
stinky
fresh
Venno.
beans? I would love to grow coffee beans, and I can't grow them here, and it upsets me.
Ah.
So if you could just like start a plot for me and bring them up here next time you make the journey, that would be just splendid.
Bowie, if you're down to
I
go in on a
actually have a
coffee
friend.
brand, I'm ready. Bowie's Magic Beans. Let's go.
Oh, that's a good name. I have a friend that actually he planted his own beans and he roasted them. Like he made like I don't know 700 grams of it, but it was pretty cool. It was really tasty.
Sad PP brought to you by Bowie's Magic Beans. I'm in.
Oh,
Sign me up.
boy.
Now we got some
Sign me
strats going
up.
on here.
Now, Trent, while we're waiting for these picks to really come through here, I do want to hit you with a little stat here.
Oh, I love
They've got a player named Jupiter here. And
Yes.
we asked what his name is all about, and apparently it is a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, something with Jupiter, and it's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. My man is a Yu-Gi-Oh grinder. Would you have ever guessed that? Would you have ever guessed that Jupiter is not a planetary reference,
The
but a
Grand
Yu-Gi reference?
Jupiter Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh, whoa! This looks like a pretty important card.
I think it is. And apparently he also did like astronomy, so there was like a double meaning there. The Brazilians all about these double meanings.
Let me tell you that once per turn, you can discard 2 cards, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip that face-up monster to this card. This card gains attack equal to the combined original attack of the monsters equipped to it by this effect. Whoa.
I mean, that sounds good.
That sounds
All
pretty
right.
good, guys.
Now, on the flip side, we've got Benny, and the story behind his nickname is nothing. It's just my real name. So, well done, Benny.
Thank you, Benny. I appreciate the quality answer, at least.
Yeah. And Nuages, it's just the name of a band. It's just his favorite band. So there you go.
Well, thank you for sending out these lovely questionnaires to
I know this is
fill our
really
knowledge.
helpful information, but now you know, buddy. And now Ma, for whatever reason, he did not respond to that question. So I don't know the story behind Ma's name. He is the enigma here on Incubus.
Well, I have to say, I was kind of hoping to see the Jupiter Beastmaster again because I distinctly remember when he completely popped off on that hero to the point where it was kind of gross. Like, he ran the whole game from Beastmaster. So I was hoping to see that again.
That the Broodmother game?
It might have been, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a stellar match, and well, it's Monkey King again here, guys.
Can't get the Mars, so you grab the other arena instead.
I think Monkey King, when you are first pick, is extremely strong because you want options at the end of the draft since you don't have the 10th pick, and he gives you plenty of them in regards to the laning, right?
5 seconds remaining.
He sure does.
I think I do feel like it's a little bit risky to pick the Monkey King this early, but they did ban Venomancer here. So as far as the safe lane matchups, in case they decide to play him as a 1, they did clean some heroes out, at least. But more than likely, this is going to be a mid Monkey King, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Judging by how Incubus have played so far, that would be my guess. And you said that, and I thought, well, they could Viper then, I suppose. But then I looked at them, I was like, I don't know. Like, Viper is... I don't particularly enjoy these Viper picks this early. I mean, it is pretty good versus the Monkey, as you said. Like, it keeps him out of the safe lane for the most part. Theoretically, you could also go mid to match the Monkey King too. But then I started thinking things like, do I even like mid Viper right now?
Yeah. Go on.
Go ahead. Well, I feel like I've loved Viper a lot. He seems threatening. We really value him a lot in the draft, but then in practice, a lot of these games, he feels possible to play around as long as it's not like a Viper into PA or something where the break is stupidly impactful.
All right, so one thing that I like about the Viper when you have last pick like this is that you can flex the Viper, because this could be either offlane or mid, but you still have last pick, so you're not going to get into that scenario where you're like, oh, let's flex the Viper, but then someone last picks something, I don't know, a Wind Ranger or like a Lina that still lanes well versus you, and the other hero that you flex also doesn't really win the lane. So when you have last pick, I'm fine with what they did. Especially with the Monkey King, right? You already have that break for the passive.
Yes. Void Spirit gone, Pugna gone, Leshrac out of here. Our favorite position 5 Witch Doctor still remains. Puck is still in the pool too. for our big heroes right now. Mars is first phase banned, so don't worry about the Mars Phoenix. Do you have the Rubik potentially versus the Viper, but they already have Phoenix, so I don't know if they're really going to want to run that as the duo.
Yeah, I mean, you can play Phoenix 5. Definitely not amazing, but Incubus, they love Rubik, so I actually wouldn't be surprised to see it. It's their second most picked hero this month.
I do dislike it versus Earth Spirit, though. You can't steal anything. It's all garbage. His spells are all terrible.
That's
they
true.
work well for him, but not so much for you.
Yeah, but the break steal is so important, right? You literally destroy the Viper because it's all about that passive.
So, guys, sorry, I was quiet there trying to figure out how to do research, and I was looking at Viper. Now, this is upper and lower combined for SA. Viper's been played 7 times and currently has a 28.57% win rate in South America.
I believe that.
So, yeah, well, I wanted to see the number because I threw that gut read out there of like, I feel like all of our Vipers have really sucked. Like, they've just blown chunks every time they get out onto the field. And it's been true. 28% win rate, 7 games. Small sample, but that's pretty bad.
I think
it's not good.
Yeah, Viper needs a lot of help, and it also needs a lineup that wants to play the same game plan as Viper, because Viper is like, it's almost like a core Undying that just doesn't want to move. That's kind of funny. They just banned Undying, but it's like a core Undying that just only wants to fight. You know, farming isn't really that much fun on this hero necessarily. There's a lot of heroes that can do it a lot better, so you just want to fight the whole time. And I still like the Atos build, but it just doesn't feel as strong right now compared to which you think with like Gleipnir and stuff it might be better. But
while we're on statistics here, real quick, Earth Spirit also has a staggeringly low win rate. He's also at 28.57% with 14 picks, so twice as many picks as Viper, and still a very, very low win rate. And that could be because underdogs are playing him more than the favorites and stuff like that. So there could be some other variables, but damn. That's crazy. I thought Earth Spirit was doing pretty well. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get with the Viper. I feel like this could also be a mindset thing. Maybe we should see which teams are actually playing Viper, because you're like, oh, let's just make sure our mid laner doesn't lose the lane, but then you're already playing it in this mindset that like if you don't give Viper to your mid laner, he might get crushed. You know, that sort of thing. So could be that. I'm not sure. I don't have the stats.
We have now seen the Wraith King picked into the Monkey King, too.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about how the Monkey King seems pretty strong versus Wraith King overall, thanks to the ulti and just trying to control him up.
Yeah. It's like most things in Dota. It's not unplayable for the Wraith King, but all things equal, it's just easier for the Monkey King. You drop that Wukong's command, kind of mitigates the reincarnation aspect. Trades well with the Wraith King too. One other position where it feels like the lifesteal that Wraith King has doesn't really matter because it pales in comparison to the Jingu. And there you go, back to the Grimstroke. So a comfort pick for Inverse. They've played this, I think, in every series so far.
I'm not sure I like this from Inverse. You have, I mean, obviously the Grimstroke Earth Spirit is good, but they know that Tusk is going to be a position 4, and you pick a hero that literally doesn't care about the Ink Swell. He can easily dodge it with Snowball. He can dodge the Wraith King stun.
I think the logic is the Soulbind, though, because if you Soulbind someone, then they can't be saved by Snowball. So if Tusk tries to like blink grab you, then he gets Soulbound as well. Then he can't scoop you up. But I would agree, it's a relatively weak counter. Yeah,
I think it's I don't know. Like when you have this Wraith King hero, obviously the Viper is going to create a lot of space, but in the lane you don't want to get crushed that hard. I'm just a little scared to how good this is going to be versus Tusk, whatever they throw at them, which is probably going to be the next pick for Incubus. I guess
unless they really want to pick like Lina or something and mix up the mid.
Oh, yeah. Oh God, Trent.
Yeah, well, because they know that if they don't pick Lina now, it's getting banned 100%, right?
Yeah.
So they have to take it if they want to versus the matchup of the Viper, and that just gives all the control back over to Inverse if they even want to put the Viper mid. Because wherever the Viper goes versus the Monkey King, he's not going to be that happy.
All right, what is the chance that they play this as a Jupiter offlane Monkey King? Because it's kind of good with the Tusk, right?
Yeah. I think pretty low, though. I mean, it's a cool
think if it was
combo.
a melee support 5, maybe.
Because I do feel like this Monkey King gets countered pretty hard by the Viper break. I wonder. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like there is like a 10% chance that's in their minds because you are playing like your Monkey King is your win condition, and you're playing it into Viper. It's kind of like picking Spectre early versus Viper. You know?
Yeah.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't look like a lot of fun.
Yes.
True that. True that.
Oh, wait, they actually ban Invoker here.
Yeah, it's so good versus the Wraith King that they just want to cover, I guess.
But then they would play like Phoenix off lane with the Tusk, and Lina would be like a 5 or Tusk 5.
I think
Lina
it might
4?
be Lina 3, perhaps, is what they're thinking.
Huh.
That's
All
pretty
right.
weird.
10 seconds.
I think Lina 3 works with Tusk though. Like we used to see it in a previous patch, right? It wasn't even that long ago. Where we had quite a few Lina 3s. It's playable.
Radiant team pick.
Legion Commander. All right. And right into the Nature's Prophet. No hesitation. And even a little more flexibility now for Incubus.
Wow.
We've seen that Prophet play a myriad of roles, pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
10
That's
seconds remaining.
I
They do
feel
not
like
have a lot of time
Incubus
here.
draft is super
5
open,
seconds
right?
remaining.
They could play it in like pretty much everything in every role, but I not sure if I feel like this is a super strong draft necessarily.
Choose
Quap.
your hero.
So, oh man, this is scary. Quap is one of those mids that I've thrown out there a couple times, and every time I've said it, you guys do that little grimace of like, yeah, but then you got a Quap on your team. What does she do? So I Lotus Orbit back at you. What does she do in this game?
She fights with
I mean,
Viper. She plays Viper's
Okay.
game.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's high tempo. She creates space for the Wraith King, but you are picking Quap into a Nature's Prophet, which is always a little scary. He actually, even if he's played in the offlane, he might farm the Orchid faster than you, and then that kind of forces you into this Uceptor build, which is not, it doesn't really scale that well. So he definitely puts a lot of pressure on the Wraith King.
Yeah, don't get blown up. And it's not even like an incredible matchup mid or anything like that because it is versus the Lina, so Lina just does her thing.
I mean, they must be very confident in this Queen of Pain to see it picked like this. That's one thing I will say. But I like the Incubus draft a lot more. Very conventional. I like the Monkey King into Wraith King matchup as well. All that tips the scales for me.
It's very low team fight all around across like the whole game. Like we have Wukong's command and like reincarnation. As like big AoE abilities, you know.
Their only long-range stun is the Earth Spirit here. The only other stun is Wraithfire Blast, and that Wraith King will take some time to be in the fights. So it definitely feels kind of hard to do anything when you have Phoenix, when you have Tusk, when you have Nature's Prophet. It just feels like they can disengage on the side of Incubus whenever they want.
Yeah, I didn't count Egg either. Whoops, my bad. Yeah, I think the supports are the keys this game. That's what I'm looking for sure. I would agree that Incubus looks a little bit favored, but if they're going to pull it off from Inverse, let the supports do the work.
Well, at least we're stepping up the cosmetics game here. We've got a Queen of Pain Arcana to grace our eyes. How quickly we forget, Trent. Just a year ago, this thing was the talk of the town, and now Queen of Pain is ancient history. So at least Inverse is doing us that pleasure here of bringing back the Quap Arcana. Gareth, it's time for you to shine, buddy. Bring us some of that ginger love into our only series today.
Yeah, good morning, Zari, and welcome. Here we are, game one of this best of three, as I'm joined by Theban to get ourselves into the first game of this series. Trent saying if we want team fights, we have to look towards the supports and let them do all the work. Theban, this game with all these core heroes really requiring some good laning stages. What are you looking at?
I'm mainly looking at Lina. I think it's going to be up to her whether Incubus is going to have a good game or a really, really hard game, because their draft looks very simple. You know, you got that Tusk, you got the Phoenix. These two can move around together, get kills with the Lina or the Monkey King. I think Incubus just have a pretty overall well-sound built lineup here. On the side of Inverse, it's a bit finicky. You know, you got the Viper and the Quap. If Tusk starts bottom, tri-lanes the Viper, gets a kill or two on him, and then decides to go and play with the Nature's Prophet, I think Incubus would be in an amazing position in the game. It's something that we've seen in other regions that they tend to do against Viper. And then the Quab versus Lina is such a hard matchup for Queen of Pain.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Incubus can make things happen wherever they want to on the map. They've got the ability with Prophet just to TP in, whereas Inverse, I like your use of the word finicky there. It really is. They need the Earth Spirit roll to land. They need Inkswell to land. All of these abilities, and then Queen of Pain is that real kind of linchpin hero in their lineup that offers you pretty much all of the mid-game damage is that Queen of Pain with her skill set. So Noah God's going to have a pretty good time coming out of that mid lane. And Lina versus Queen of Pain, something that's definitely going to be interesting to watch. Mini up against Noah.
Yeah, I think we've seen this quite a bit, and the matchup is kind of like, I want to say 65-35 for the Lina. It's all about the range, right? You have much higher range than Quap. Every time the Quap walks in to try and Shadow Strike you, it's well telegraphed, so you can just throw out the stun when that happens, and then the Queen of Pain just loses like half her health just trying to Shadow Strike you. And she can't even attack you back all the time, like she coming in to Shadow Strike, right click, or anything like that. So the trades are always much better for the Lina. I'd be really surprised if she loses the lane. And the Earth Spirit, if he leaves the Viper bottom all by himself to go mid to gank the Lina for the Quap, then the Viper is going to be in a lot of danger. This is a Phoenix Monkey lane. They're going to have a lot of damage. I really want to see a Tusk tri lane, though, to start.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. Yeah, that's a good point, though, right? This Earth Spirit, with potentially a lot on his shoulders, could struggle to guard the runes. Obviously very important against Lina, Queen of Pain. And try and get into that mid lane. Up. It is indeed. Inverse, 5 heroes strong, walking past a Treant. Just let him wander through your jungle. They're not going to find anyone, though, because 5 heroes of Inverse are over on the other side of the map. Who's Jaws?
Nah, there's nothing here. Oh man. You find nothing but a Roshan. That's a bigger shark than you are.
Yep.
Oh,
no stabbing violins anywhere. Yeah, it's interesting, these Lina matchups. Thinking about like Lina, Lina versus TA. Thinking about Queen of Pain versus SF. You go back to Dota 1 days, and there were complete reversals. You know, they used to be heavily favored the other way, and now we've got Mangoes being spammed out, individual couriers bringing salves, and a lot of these mid laners have kind of figured out how to balance the scales of a lot of these disadvantageous matchups, and even tip them in their favor.
You're gonna have to. I mean, the way you tip them in your favor is by just abusing more region and knowledge of the game to your opponents. So sometimes if your enemy mid laner is not thinking about the game or doesn't have as much Dota IQ on their lane as you do, that's the time that you're really gonna outplay them.
Well, the one melee creep sent forward. The block from Noah lets one slip. So Mini gets his first CS. And down in that bottom lane, the Phoenix and the Monkey, Nuage and Benny, does have the addition of the Tusk. The tri-lane that you wanted, it is there. As the Earth Spirit is still lurking top lane, so Viper incredibly defensive, not getting a single point of experience.
Yeah, I like this much better. You just give the Monkey the entire first wave, he gets all the assets. They're going to be able to control the pulls up as well. I'm shook that the lane pushed, though. That can't be good. Like, they could easily deny the first 4 creeps if this lane did not push. But we're back top lane. 3 heroes.
Yeah, still keeping that Earth Spirit up there. Stunning onto the Prophet. But they've missed out on some of their spells here. Wraith King can't follow forward. And Ma was the one that started us off with the tag team. Now body blocking the Treants in front of Slaw. That's a lot of damage. Still not dead just yet. Maybe, if the Tusk can get there, they can cancel the salve. But it's going to be tag team towards the Earth Spirit now. They are a 3 versus 2 lane. That is losing out. But maybe the turn with Sweetum finally getting back away from that creep wave. They'll get first blood. Ma down, and Jupiter's going to follow him. That's a great ink swell on that Earth Spirit. Thanks to Slaw. And the Troy lane, it comes out in the end.
Yeah, a little too much coming out from Incubus there. I mean, as soon as you brought that Earth Spirit so low, don't chase them into the trees. You can just back off. They're all going to be super low HP and just win the lane through the fact that they can't really walk up anymore.
Theban, mid lane.
What is it?
12-3 Lina and 4 CS on the Queen of Pain. You said 65-35, and it's going that way and more.
Yep, Mini is giving him the beatdown. It's like, you pick Queen of Pain into me? What kind of joke do you think I am? And
they're jumping bottom.
Hands it to him.
Monkey King he's broken, so the Jingu stacks, they aren't building up, and now the roll from Earth Spirit connecting on Phoenix, but a boundless strike and Monkey's ability to chase forces the Fairy Fire. He's got the stacks of Jingu going, Phoenix is dropping lower, and the final touch there from the Earth Spirit will finish him, while the Monkey, under the tier 1, he's going to get this kill. The Fairy Fire's needed, and he's going to die to tower in the end.
Very nice from melee there, at least to give all that experience for his Earth Spirit and get the kill onto the monkey. Definitely not worth it for Incubus.
And then back in that top lane, Sweetum, he's got Inkswell on him, but the Sprout not really working out there for Jupiter and Mar. Put a lot of pressure on him, though. Slow down that radiance.
He's got that Chainmail now. As soon as he gets that level 2 Vampiric Spirit on the Wraith King and starts healing up with these crits, he's going to be okay. That Chainmail is pretty much everything he really needs in this lane to sustain himself. That big armor buff.
Yeah, and a casual ring of protection, right? Against Nature's Prophet with Blightstone and Treants. Makes a lot of sense.
A very good idea. Oh, Queen of Pain, it must be lagging, right? Oh, wait, hold your horses, guys. This is game 1. This must be Peru server. Am I right?
I have.
First game we play, yeah. There's no reason. I mean, Mini is from Brazil. This man, I think he's like one of the better players out of Brazil as well. Like we watched him play a few games, and he's just incredible. And not only that, I think his English is very good too. From when he was having like conversations with some of the people in the lobbies, yeah, pretty funny guy.
Yeah, lobby chats are always super interesting. Oh, Bowie's back. Bloody Bowie and his pinging. Yeah, it is double null Lina while the Queen of Pain is trying to rush towards bottle. I wonder what Bowie's trying to point out there.
I don't know. I think Bowie just wants to annoy the other productions from the other regions. Did I ever tell you the story about how I pinged one time and apparently the Russian casters or something wanted to lynch me for it? I have no idea. Dude. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to point something out. I didn't know everybody else was gonna see it, and then I had like someone from the RU hub message and be like, "Hey, don't do that. Don't ping anything. It ruins the focus of the other casters." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
A lot of bullshit.
Sorry.
Ping whatever you want.
Well, I don't. Maybe I was wrong. It might have not been them, but it was someone. Someone messaged me right after like the game.
I mean, genuinely, what's the point in broadcast slots if you can just see everybody's pings anyway, right? Like that's something Valve should get onto. Let us ping these items so Bowie can ping an individual singular null talisman, not both of the ones that Lina has, but only one of them. Oh, now the Monkey King is gone. I thought it was the Dire team paused, right? Because they had a couple of players disconnect. Now Monkey King has gone out for a bit of a break. A couple of deaths in that bottom lane, though, Theban. Phoenix and Monkey King. Yeah, that one Earth Spirit rotation, you can see the strength of him.
I mean, if you don't respect the Nether Toxin and you go in when it's up, it's a big mistake. You definitely want to only jump after the Viper uses the Nether Toxin, pretty much. That spell is incredibly powerful. I don't know why it's so strong on level 1. Definitely feel like that should be rescaled in some way to make this hero more balanced. But then again, like Viper's not a hero that people generally pick.
Yeah, and he's always been like an early focused hero, hasn't he?
You remember the days when Nether Toxin used to give you damage based on how much HP the enemy has lost? So the lower their health was, the more damage your Nether Toxin did. It was just like a passive. And it was so good at last hitting creeps. Yes. And it worked on like denies too, I think. Yep. I can't really remember. And it was insane, yeah. You just rock lanes by just out CSing your opponent and then you just threw poison attacks on your enemy.
Yeah, like 5 minutes in, your mid lane Viper has 30 CS, 30 denies, and you're like, oh, cool. There's nothing to stop that, is there?
Yeah. It was a pretty bad hero later on.
Did he have any other different... I remember in Dota 1 days, he had Frenzy as his Q. Like he had the attack speed buff.
Yeah, okay, we know you're a boomer.
I'm just sorry. Okay, yeah, I am a boomer. No, he's had a lot of changes though. Like they've tried to rebalance him a few times.
Nah,
seems like it's been a bit of a struggle.
I mean, Dota 2 was always the same spells. It's up for the Nether Toxin change. He always had the Corrosive Skin, the Poison Attack, and the Viper Strike. Used to have much higher cast range than what it does now. Like much higher cast range. The build before used to be like mech into Aghanims. It's like treads, mech, you become unkillable, then you buy Ags and you just run around and shoot people, and then you just kill them.
Yeah, thanks, Fata. Fata with those mid lane mech builds. DK mech, Invoker mech, Shadow Fiend mech.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
those are some days as well.
Yeah, he was a pretty good mid laner back in the day, was Fata. And just run around with his team.
Damn, this pause is very long. Interesting.
Yeah, with usually they give like a little reason.
Yeah, I hope he didn't click the leave button instead of the reconnect. Yeah, that's happened a few times in competitive Dota.
I've had to catch myself recently from doing it as well because, like, sometimes something bugs out or you have to change hotkeys or whatever, and you leave game, you close the game, and you come back. Very weird playing Lina. Ha! But like you come back in, and sometimes like your cursor in the Dota 2 main menu doesn't act like it should. So even if you have it hovering over the like reconnect button, sometimes it clicks the leave button. I swear to God, there's like gremlins in the UI. Just accidentally abandon the game.
Definitely lost some MMR doing that before.
Ouch.
I think it happened to me like once in my entire like whatever 10K games I must have or something. So not that bad, but it's definitely happened. They're literally right on top of each other as well. Did you see what Mini wrote?
Yeah, I'm wondering which direction to go with. Like, how is he being philosophical? Is he being a memer? Which direction's he going? Who's he talking to? I guess is the primary question. Is he talking to the viewers?
And I don't know. I think he's just talking. Doesn't have much else to do. I mean, we're paused in the middle of a Dota game. Imagine you're at war and you're like, guys, give us a second. Hold on, I gotta go pee.
Gotta go pee. I need a pee break real quick. Just stop shooting us for a sec, yeah? Stop dropping that artillery.
Benny, by the way, is from Argentina.
Oh yeah.
So maybe he's playing from home and he's got some lag issues. Let's just hope that it's nothing serious.
Oh yeah, definitely hope so.
That he will be able to come back into this game because this does look like it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, Inverse is 4-1. They got some nice kills so far. Their lanes are not going too hot in terms of last hits, but kills are kills.
They sure are. I mean, they can alleviate any kind of pressure you've got on you. And right now, Inverse, feeling pretty pressured down at the bottom of the group stage, right? 2 series losses. They need a win desperately just to try and levitate back up there. While Incubus probably feeling pretty good about themselves. 2-1 so far in this Div 2 group stage. And their loss was up against Hokori, who looked pretty hot in the first game of the season, and you're up against one of the kind of top teams.
Some of these teams it's desperate. It's desperation. They want to stay in this Division 2 because I'm pretty sure majority of these people have not gotten like a single dollar from playing, Dota. Like not a single dollar, but as much money as they can get from this tournament, pretty much, right? If you get 6th place in Division 2, you got $7,000. That's a lot of money in South America to split between your team. They're going to be very happy about that. And all they're really playing is 7 series over the course of like 45 days. So, very good money for them. They do not want to get last 2.
Oh, they absolutely don't. And there's some good value going. And we are back in. Oh God, ready to resume the game and get back into that laning stage. It's been a crippling one so far, and forced to bring another salve just to stick around in that mid lane. 19-6 Lina. Mini just going to try and keep that pressure on with the Light Strike arrays. It looks like the Phoenix down bottom. That pull through going to be contested by the Earth Spirit. And that leaves the Viper in a straight 1v1 against the Monkey King, which Benny isn't too happy about. Would you think that Inverse here were aiming to get, a really good laning stage start? Like, just looking in isolation, without looking at Incubus as heroes, the 5-man draft of Inverse seems like a very lane-dominant, lane-heavy setup.
Yeah, they definitely were thinking something along those lines. I think they got like good dual lanes, pretty much. Viper, Earth Spirit, very classic. Grimstroke, Great King, same thing. They would just wanted to get just want to draft into like synergy and some decent amount of disables, but I think Incubus just did a really good job at like countering that draft, the kind of heroes that they got. And this Lina probably made it very hard for Inverse to try and draft something that can beat the Lina. You want to go TA? You don't really want to go TA, right? With like a Wraith and a Viper on your team. And most of the other heroes don't really beat Lina either. She can make it a 50-50 almost against every single hero in Dota.
Yeah, that's what the panel was saying about that Viper pick, right? Being able to flex it is good in one way, but then that Lina pick made it awkward for them as the Earth Spirit rolls away from Mars rotation. Tusk comes down here to play with the bounty runes. One of them at least should be gathered up here by the supports of Incubus. Prophet scanning deep. 2 for 2 across the board. Mid lane's being eyed up though. Earth Spirit's there on the low ground, aiming for Mini, and they've collapsed on him with both dire supports. The Prophet TP's in, the 2-man Light Strike array. Mini doesn't have mana for the Laguna Blade though, and Ma, he is coming in here trying to take down Slaw's Grimstroke. He'll find it, or maybe not. The Stick Pop and the Fairy Fire gets him back to the Tier 1 tower. And Jupiter, still being whacked around by the Earth Spirit, has to back himself up. So Inverse with a good rotation into mid lane, giving Queen of Pain a new lease of life. She's got some CS.
They definitely need that. I mean, the bounty runes into the rotation onto mid with the catapults coming out, that was really good move from Inverse there. Incubus, though, they will be able to reduce the loss, not really take any tower damage. Lina's back alive. But this did give a lot of space for the Wraith King top side. And it's going for an armlet first item. Okay. I mean, it's a pretty decent item, but I do feel like maybe Radiant's rush could have still been better, considering your team wants to just like fight and let you farm, and then you got to carry over once you get that Radiance.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the hardest question they have to answer right now, is like how late do we want to take this game? You know, you've got Viper, Queen of Pain, Wraith King. I guess you want to try and aim for the mid-game real big power spike. But then, is it Armlet or is it Radiance that gives you that? Do you want to try and fight a little bit earlier? Are you expecting to be battling this Monkey King before he gets his first item? Because Benny has a Battle Fury queued up, but he has been struck by a Rolling Boulder. Mars tag team, though, a lot of damage from that Boundless Strike and just the right clicks. And now Phoenix arriving with a dive and the Fiery Spirits. They'll find his Viper, and Earth Spirit should be okay to roll away. Benny, he wants to close that one out, and yeah, you're right. Grimstroke and Quap find the Lina mid, while Earth Spirit makes a hasty retreat.
That's another big kill onto the Lina. I mean, Mini was having a pretty good game, but after this pause, it looks like Inverse have really planned some nice movements to try and shut this Lina down, or at least give a little bit more space for the Queen of Pain.
Prophet.
She's been just getting dominated in this lane.
TP's onto the Earth Spirit. They've been tracking him and his wander across the map, wasting a lot of time. Phoenix, Tusk, and Prophet all expending a good 30 seconds to a minute, honestly. Just chasing an Earth Spirit from that bottom tier 1 all the way through to mid tier 1 in the Dire team. I got some good wards down Inverse. I spot the Lina jungling away. They've got a ward down bottom watching for Monkey King.
I want to see them maybe just rotate this Tusk and the Phoenix top with the Nature's Prophet and try to pressure up this Wraith King. This Wraith King has just been able to just sit in the lane with his phase boots, push that out, farm jungle. You can get your Lina to walk up there too. Inverse doesn't have their Sonic Wave right now. That's a pretty big team fighting spell. Just, you know, get some kind of pressure going.
Hey, go make a move.
Looks like they're going to do that, yeah, right now.
Because Wraith King's farming. He's farming stacks in the jungle. Someone's got to come and stop this man. And he's saving up his money, Theban, so that question is still unanswered, whether he does go for the armlet.
Yeah, he might just transition into it depending on whether his team wins the next fight or not. And they're actually going to just give up this top tower because the Wraith King is jungling. Like, that's one of the dangerous part about, you know, taking stacks early on is your tower going to take damage while you're doing this? And how much is it going to take? So, Incubus, right place, right time. Going to be able to take this tower without, you know, any reaction coming up from Inverse.
It is a trade, though. Bottom tier 1 going to be taken by the Queen of Pain. Just a little bit earlier than that top one. And Wraith King...
That bottom tower was... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Wraith King is not particularly fast at clearing stacks, is he? Even with like maxed out skeletons. The these big large camp stacks with, you know, stomps and claps and all that stuff, they can actually clear the skellies pretty quickly. Benny's monkey going to be sitting mid now. Bottom lane completely opens up for Inverse. We should see the pretty regular... Ooh, roll in from Earth Spirit. A little ballsy there.
Yeah, they don't see anybody else though on the side of Incubus, so just back off there. They don't know if Viper is there or Queen of Pain is going to jump in with a Sonic Wave, so they don't really want to turn around on that Earth Spirit.
And this is where we probably see the pretty regular thing of Monkey King taking that top third corner of the map, pushing out the top wave, profit the unsafe farm down bottom, and you can TP into fights when need be. And Lena's actually going to be the one sitting in the pocket, hiding and farming jungle. Yule Scepter is nearly done, and once she has that, could start roaming around the map with that Tusk and the Prophet to look for kills. Sweetum still saving up 3,000 gold towards a relic, potentially. As the Queen of Pain spots Jupiter, nothing to cancel TPs.
It's looking a lot more and more like a relic than a armlet.
Yeah.
He would have already had it by now if he wanted armlet, and he would have used it to increase his farming speed.
They've caught the Lina again. Mini for the third time in a row. Gonna get sliced and diced here. The Sonic Wave takes her out. The Soulbind holds the Tusk and Phoenix in place. And that Stroke of Fate slows them down for long enough. The Dagger, the Snowball comes,
strike.
trying to save them up. But that Viper has already struck them with the real heavy toxin. And a killing spree from Noah comes out, looking for Ma. The final touch is the Queen of Pain for a double kill. Noah recovering from that laning stage, going from like 6th in net worth to 2nd place now at nearly 5k.
And the Wraith King is here too. Very nice TP from him, TPing out of bottom to mid as soon as the team wins a fight to drop the Skellies and take this tier 1 tower. But it's a bit too slow, I think. Lena's already alive, yeah.
Yeah, Lina playing that left-hand side. Clear through all the Skellies and the creeps that are here. Doesn't even need the Prophet to TP in. So he can
You don't want to
down
lose this
bottom.
tier 1. You're going to have Inverse just smoking up all the time and just running straight into your jungle. Thought you'd been able to really TP and cover your heroes fast enough. You lose that tier 1.
And pretty much every move that Incubus is making is spotted by Inverse. Like they know exactly what's happening. That's why Sweetum's been able to find these really great positions just to keep on farming. All of that early dire vision, giving them the intel they need. And Mini, you know, you said it, he had like a perfect laning stage the first 5-6 minutes. Now 0-3-0 and Lina, not really a kill score you'd expect from a dominating lane stage performance.
Yeah, I mean, Inverse, they sure lost lanes in terms of creep kills, but they made some really good rotations on this map to bring themselves back into the game. And we talked about, or you talked about how the Earth Spirit, you know, there's a lot that he's got to do, and he's doing a lot. He's landing his spells, and he's making it happen for his team.
And now, with that Earth Spirit and Queen of Pain thinking about diving, still trying to take control of that mid-tier 1 tower area. And if the Quap can push the bottom lane and transfer in towards mid, get a bit more damage on it. The farming battle of Monkey King and this Wraith King up top. The two kings fighting for farm. Looks like it's going to be Radiance before Battle Fury, though.
It is. That's pretty huge for the Wraith King here. The Monkey is going to still need a whole lot more time before he can be fight ready.
They've found the Prophet. Sonic Wave and the Scream. Not quite enough. Needs that one final right-click attack to hit. The smoke from Incubus, it was trying to connect down here. They might find the Queen of Pain on her way out. Arcane ruined up, Mini with the Yules. Tusk at the ready here, so Light Strike Array dodged.
Oh, wow.
Mistimed by Mini.
Yikes, that's a big bad miss right
They'll
there.
find the Grimstroke, but my goodness, the double daggers now from the Queen of Pain and the Viper Strike. Oh, the body blocks from the Treant. Make sure that the Soulbind Viper Strike doesn't come into play. But Mini destroyed the Queen of Pain in lane. Beautiful start, 3 kills in a row, and I mean, you get your Yule Scepter, but your first use of the Yules doesn't get you anything. Top lane, they do jump the Earth Spirit, Ah, the Sprout. Not going to hold him in. He just rolls away.
Gary?
It's got to feel pretty demoralizing, though, as this mini Lina. That was your way back in. That was your window.
Oh, okay. All right. I think Discord just had like a seizure from me or something.
Excellent. I was just saying, it's a little bit sad for Mini. First Yule's showing, gets nothing. Now working on the BKB, so potentially could turn herself into that artillery turret, cast some spells, and launch the right-click attacks. There's the high ground in this Radiant Triangle. Oh, Earth Spirit, he's still up there. Gets a silencer kick. Supernova comes, focusing the Earth Spirit with the Laguna Blade. That's Mini now saying, my high ground, not yours. They'll find Slaw's Grimstroke and Inverse. Making that move up there, sure, they do get the tier 1 tower mid, but losing a couple of supports for a sneaky little move, giving Mini a way back in.
I think they were just trying to take too much of the map at the same time there. Just going for the 4 banner in place and getting completely punished by the heroes already set up from Incubus. That's going to give a little bit of life to them. They got the Battle Fury now finished up. He's going for the BKB next. Nature's Prophet also has the Orchid going for BKB next, and Lina also going for BKB. So you're going to have this triple BKB timing from Incubus that's going to be very, very hard for Inverse to fight into. They don't have anything through BKB.
I really don't. Nice to see Queen of Pain finishing off the Orchid, going into BKB. You talked about the difficulties she might have and maybe thinking about the Yule Scepter she actually had queued up for quite a while. But after, what, like a 5-0 Queen of Pain now you're looking at. Being dumpstered in lane, but coming back through kills. Feels good for Noah.
Yeah, and look at her farm too. She's getting ahead of the Quap as well. On the Lina. I mean...
TPing top, Boundless, Snowball, Orchid. And there's the jump on, the streaked Queen of Pain. They do move with Slaw's Inkswell, Soulbind with the Rod of Atos. Wukong's command comes though and zones them out. As Wraith King, he arrives with the Radiance. One slice, big crit, takes down Jupiter. They have extracted the Monkey. A 1-for-1 profit for Quap. Still feels pretty good as long as the Tusk can survive.
Yeah, no stun.
2 seconds left on that Rod of Atos. It was getting close.
Yeah, Wraith King was also on cooldown. Okay, good stuff coming out from Incubus once again. I mean, you get the key on the Quap, you rotate like 3 heroes top. Now those heroes have to push the tier 1 top lane, and you got a bunch of space around mid and bottom to get your items. Because right now, all they care about is just quick kills and out, wait for your BKBs on Incubus. I think Inverse's slow movements are starting to show now. In terms of like their heroes, they're not really mobile.
Yeah, they are a battle tank. They're on tracks. They're trying to slowly just wiggle their way forward. Queen of Pain. Oh, that's a jump on a Phoenix that she might regret making. They will get the kill, but Mini's there with a Laguna Blade. Oh, the damage from the right clicks just about enough. Well placed, and now Jupiter TPing out from the top lane gets caught up in the Rod of Atos. Trapped in the Nether Toxin, and Jupiter, he gets removed.
Alright, Jupiter, buddy. I don't know what you're doing there, but you should have been bottom with your Monkey, taking that tier 1.
Oh, Ma. Stuck around in that top lane. He tries to get the trade with that Earth Spirit, but it wasn't to be. A double kill now for your Wraith King. And after the Radiance, he is well on his way to BKB.
I mean, Incubus just putting themselves right in front of that tank. Like you said, Gary.
Getting rolled over.
That's what happened to Jupiter over there. Just chilling in the jungle while the tank is on its way.
You got to see it coming. And they'll jump on him again. Jupiter gets rolled, kicked back into the Atos. Mini's going to try and save the day here with a Light Strike Array on the Viper. Laguna Blade takes him low. That Viper nearly dead. They do find Jupiter, but the trade back's going to be big here for Incubus. Getting the 2 kills for Mini really helps their efforts, because that's a BKB done now for your Lina.
That is indeed. I think Monkey King also. No, he's got like another 1600 to go. NP's BKB is like completely off right now because he just died 3 times. He like died once, revived, died again, revived, died again. You know, teleportation is a cool spell, but sometimes they can get you killed if you just go to the wrong place.
Yeah, it sure can. And he's probably going to be a bit more tentative with this one. Where's he going? He's sitting in fountain. He's thinking. He's animation cancelling. Oh, he goes mid lane.
He sees his allies nearby. It's like, alright, at least if I die again, maybe my team will get another 2 or 3 kills.
Oh yeah. That's what they're looking for. A great wall of wards here from Incubus. From Roche Pit down to that bottom rune spot. Making sure they've got eyes on the river.
They just kind of want to split the map and finish these big items first before they get any aggressive vision on the map. Because once you've got your items, that's when you want to smoke up. Got a blink on the Tusk also, Gary. That's going to be a nice save.
They sure do, and they might need it already. Lina, she gets hit by the Rod of Atos, but Viper's the one to try and run away. Now, Yule's into the air. Light Strike Array when he hits the ground. And the Wukong's command from Benny, a little aggressive. They're a little eager to be in the battle, but Slaw just punched into oblivion by this Mar Tusk. And Roshan opens its pit to the Radiant team now, as there's 2 Dire Heroes dead. Wraith King, Quap, and Earth Spirit all sprinting to the eastern side of the map. Do Incubus want to go in there?
No,
do you think
they
they're
want
too
to finish
slow?
their BKB. They want to finish their BKB. I don't think they're too slow. I think they actually can do it, but it's always going to be a gamble, right? The Earth Spirit can easily just smoke up the Wraith King, go into the pit. The Viper and the Grimstroke would have been reviving, and then it could have been a really messy fight. So
And I
think it's much better if they wait for the BKBs.
Yeah, you're kind of trading that 30, 45 seconds of killing Roshan for 30 or 45 seconds of farming, of killing this tier 2 tower top. And it is a smoke from Inverse. They've got the Rod of Atos, catch with a Blink Wraith King, but Lina has a BKB. Shiny Golden Goddess with a Supernova behind her, and that punch from the Tusk, it shreds through the Viper. They can't focus the egg now. Laguna Bladed down, and Incubus, they move into this dire jungle, finding 2 kills, as Inverse's smoke does not pay off. Missing the Light Strike Array on the Earth Spirit there, not too hot, but they get the kill regardless. And now it's Roshan time, right, Theban?
Monkey got the BKB. He's got his Wukongs up in 20, and there's no Earth Spirit to smoke up our Wraith King and try to contest this fight as well.
An easy one at that.
Incubus, I mean, they're ahead on kills on Inverse, but their abilities to push lanes out and command team fights is just not there for them. They're constantly having to put off these fires on the map that Incubus is setting with, like Nature's Prophet split pushing, Monkey split pushing. You're never going to really be able to fix all the lanes against these heroes. On Inverse, you just kind of have to like brute force yourself into the enemy tower and try to force Incubus to come back and defend.
Yeah, battle tank mode.
Yep. Battle tank.
Just go. I mean, it does come back to that that point I think Trent made about the lack of AoE teamfight. They don't have a great reset tool. They don't have a great way to set up team fights because it's primarily single target. So Grimstroke, that Soulbind, incredibly important here for Incubus to actually land Soulbind onto one of these core heroes. But now that the BKB's up, it becomes infinitely more difficult. As Queen of Pain, gonna be happy that she actually blinked away from that. Gets the Orchid on to the Prophet first. The Boundless Strike and the roll in. Now the Soulbind. The BKB from Lina, though, turns the tide of the fight. Kills off the Earth Spirit as the Wraith King. He's inside the Wukong's command. Sonic Wave is a massive amount of damage. Amar takes the brunt of it, but Lina self-fuels. Into the air she goes. One hit here from the Wraith King will clear him up, though, as Sweetum, after reincarnation, pops his BKB and slices the Monkey. Aegis removed. Prophet's in trouble now. Under the Nether Toxin, the Wraith King and the Earth Spirit take him out, and Monkey is the last one standing in this fight. He's got a Supernova to back him up a little bit there, but I don't know, all the life steal in the world's not going to get you out of that one. Phoenix, unfortunately, trying to save his buddy, but a massive team fight for Inverse.
Battle tank mode. Nice. I mean, you just got to put the Wraith King right in the front there, going on to the 2 cores. I mean, they try to fight off the Wraith King. I think their job was to just use the Wraith King and go for everybody else. Forget about this guy. Like, he has a BKB. I think they didn't even notice that he had a BKB because the fight started too quickly, maybe. But now they win that engagement, take the tier 2, can take the outpost back. It must feel really good for Inverse. And Incubus, they gotta just change their battle plan.
Change the battle plan. Dodge the tank. Split push. Go around the side. Find the weakness in its armor. You come in from the back lines. Look for the Grimstroke.
Yeah, it's like a cow. You gotta tip the tank.
Tipping. Oh yeah, fancy bit of cow tipping. Just push them over. They can't get back up again. Invis,
So it's like one of the meanest things, man.
Yeah, it's very
Can't
stupid.
believe people thought that's a fun thing to do. Actually, I've never really seen a cow in my life. Have you?
You've never seen like a real life cow?
Yeah. Like I've never been able to like touch a cow. You know.
Okay.
Like I think I've seen it maybe like driving by some farm or something like that. But I've never actually got to like touch a cow, see it face to face.
None to burn.
I'm in a privileged position then. So, some of my family, like Irish family, they're milk farmers. So I've seen plenty of cows in my time. All those Irish people making butter and cream. Would you like to see a cow, Theban? You sounded so sad when you're like, you know, I've never seen a cow before.
Yeah, of course. I mean, these are like experiences of life.
They're like big dogs.
Oh, that's awesome then. What the hell?
Why? They're friendly,
Society has
loyal,
been
happy.
keeping me away
Yeah.
from big dogs. I love dogs. You know, it's my favorite pets.
They're a bunch of cuties.
I have a husky myself. Absolute beauty. All right, back to the game. Okay, you're like
We
you're,
had a
you're taking
lapse.
me somewhere where I can talk for like hours.
We had
alright?
a
So let's
lapse.
Yeah. So inverse, I mean, they Incubus try to split up the map a little bit, but it doesn't really feel like they're applying enough pressure. This NP should be top, not defending his damn tier 2 tower, that's for sure. And on the side of inverse, I mean, they're doing the right thing, just trying to brute force, stay in front of your opponent buildings, try to make some mistakes. Oh, Slaw though, he's misstepping a bit here.
Yeah, he went forward for the D-Ward, pays dearly for it, and over towards the Tusk, he makes a jump on the Viper, trying to get the rest of his team in here. The two-man Boundless Strike, it hits from the Monkey with the DD Rune going. Viper shredded, and the Wraith King, he's got the help of the Sonic Wave and the Earth Spirit behind her, but the Wukongs is on top of the Wraith King with his BKB, and the damage is substantial. The DD's huge, but the Wraith King, he gets out of there. BKB'd up, they can't stop him from walking away.
I mean, that was a 5 versus 4 to begin with when the Grimstroke died. In those positions, when you want a D-Ward, you gotta ask your core to lead the way for you, so that so you're like in between your enemy and the ward there. So they can't actually come in and kill your support.
Protect me, please, big Wraith King. Just let me ward. Yeah, he was miles ahead of his teammate there.
Yeah. Just gotta, you know, take the small little correct steps to win the game. Because you see how the chain reaction occurred. The Grim dies, now Incubus can take a fight because 5 versus 4. They kill off your Viper. Was it your Viper? Yeah. Because of it. It doesn't really feel that good when you're the one who's supposed to be a tank and not getting tipped.
Oh, another smoke. Inverse. Are they ready? They are. Clear out that creep camp. And the tracks, they are returning again. Get them up the high ground. All-terrain vehicle tank incoming. Inverse. Who do they find? It's Monkey King and the Earth Spirit. Oh, the Tusk, sorry, but the BKB from Monkey. It comes out just in time. He's trying to stand his ground and fight with the Boundless Strike, and the heal back from the Jingu is wonderful, but the Viper slides away into the waiting arms of the Tusk still, and this Wraith King's isolated. Lina, with the help of the Supernova, zoned out and killed the Earth Spirit, and the Wraith King this time, even with BKB, cutting through the trees of the Sprout, Shard trapped up, he's got nowhere to run. Lina's going to chase him down, hound him, and get a triple for Mini. This time, the tank falls short, the tracks come off. Incubus, they found the weakness.
Very unfortunate for Inverse there. They just smoked into all of Incubus heroes. Like typically you have this NP like either split pushing bottom or playing somewhere else, and you would run into like maybe 3 heroes, but they ran into all 5 of the heroes. And the Lina in the back just pew sniping off the supports. The Viper is actually so bad against Lina when she's this far ahead.
Yeah.
Just right clicks them down, doesn't care. Gotta pop that BKB.
Now with a Daedalus.
Yep.
My
I mean,
Under attack.
she's competing for Monkey King in top 1 net worth on the Radiant team.
Powerful. And Incubus onto the tier 3. 25 seconds without Wraith King. It's just going to be a lane of barracks here. Doesn't seem like defense is an option for the inverse squad. Rod of Atos flies out. Monkey's like, nice.
This Wraith King is everything for inverse. If he dies, they all collapse. If he's isolated and going for all their targets and not protecting his team, they all lose on inverse. So, and you hate that because single core lineups like this, and when I mean by single core, I don't mean like the other heroes are not cores. I just mean that only one of your hero has actual farm that can contest your opponent.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, actually stand in a team fight and battle with them. Ooh, a DD rune. Roshan in 3 minutes, though. It is long spawn Roshan. So more time here for Inverse to hold on to their high ground and maybe contest it.
2 more minutes, though, so I think that's a long Roshan. The DD won't really matter.
Yeah.
I guess the Lina can bottle it, though. That's going to be... Okay, never mind. That's going to matter a lot. Forget about Roshan. This Lina is just going to wipe them out in the team fight.
Well, the Monkey's making the jump. With a DD, they feel so strong. They're just running straight into them.
Oh,
the reincarnation
no,
is already gone, and
no.
the Wraith King fully isolated. Doesn't even bother to BKB. He's stunned up, and there's not a trace left of him. Slaw.
What do we say if the Wraith King dies?
Run away. Get home.
Got nothing.
Get back to Fountain. Grimstroke with that nice little Glimmer Cape. Will get himself out, but the Earth Spirit, he's rolled right into the Monkey King. A double for Benny. And now you've got all 3 lanes trending towards the Dire base. Prophet can go bottom if he wants to shove it a little more, but they are all ready to go either top tier 3, force a fight, or back into Roshan whenever he respawns. It's still a long one, though. Lina just straight up onto high ground. She knows she's got the damage. Monkey, where are you? Come here and hit buildings. I need your Orb of Corrosion. Actually, no, I don't. I'm so powerful. Easy range racks. Tier 3's gone. Melee down. And it's deja vu. 25 seconds without Wraith King. Second time in a row now. Teamfight win into full lane capitulation. Inverse on the brink. Now this game going south.
Yep, I mean, this game just goes to show, like, how bad Queen of Pain must be, I think. I mean, maybe it's just Noah, you know, he didn't really know what to do after his nice 5-0 start. But it just feels like this hero doesn't really do much watching this game.
Yeah. I was struggling there to think of, like, you know, rationalizations of how maybe things could have been different, but Queen of Pain really in a struggling position right now as a hero.
Yeah, the way that you can utilize your lead is like you got to get your teammates to go in front and tank for you, soak damage, and then like constantly force fights. But Inverse didn't really have that plan. You know, this Viper, surprisingly not that tanky of a hero.
High ground hold onto Wraith King. First life immediately gone. BKB Wukongs from Benny not getting pushed out of that circle of his. Still soulbound with a Tusk, but they found Sweetum with no buyback yet again. And Earth Spirit just being pummeled by the Lina. The Prophet tries to earn and roll away, but the damage is too great. And Viper trapped over near the Roshan pit. Melee is going to get swiped by the Benny Monkey King.
I mean, it's got to the point in the game where the Wraith King cannot tank through the damage of Incubus anymore. So early on, mid-game, it's hard to burst him 2 times, but now they got the damage, they can just focus him down. Inverse get their hand forced, you know, join the fight to just help the Wraith King out and just get completely wiped. I mean, you're playing against tri-core versus a single core. Look at the net worths of the 3 heroes on Incubus. All 3 of these cores are actually doing crazy amount of DPS.
And
but Inverse, that's not the case.
Yeah, GG's cool. I just want to ask you if I understood that correctly. With Queen of Pain, the way to like make her work in this game, I guess you're talking about, to get everyone to play in front of her and you know, front line for the Queen of Pain, set things up.